Hi guys, and welcome to this edition of Phyrefli's Video Digest. As always, thank you very much for listening. Now, I want to make one thing clear before I start this video. This is not a video asking for mod tools for Battlefield 3. DICE have explicitly said there will be no mod tools, and that's fine. I don't necessarily agree with the message, but I do agree with the way that they've done it. They've been very clear in their communication, no mod tools. Okay, fine. Unfortunately, that piece of praise for DICE is likely to be about the last piece of praise in this video, and that's because as I was researching it, I gradually came to the dawning realization that DICE have made a catastrophic mistake not allowing mods for the game. Not for the reasons that I initially thought, but for other reasons which will become clear towards the end of the video, and things that other developers have done. So what I want to do is show you a few mods to begin with, some from the historical battlefields, some from some other games, and then I want to take you on to another game entirely so that you can see something which is really rather special and something that personally I'm really looking forward to. The first mod that I want to show you, in case you've not seen it before, is Project Reality. Now, a lot of people know Project Reality. They know it's one of the better mods actually. It's very much like Armour in that it's almost hyper realistic. But what the team have recently done is brought out a Vietnam mod as well, and they released that a few weeks ago. So the video I'm going to show you now is part of the Vietnam mod. It's their release trailer. Don't worry, it's very short. It's their release trailer. It was brought out a few weeks ago, and this is for the Battlefield 2 game.
This is rock and roll. Hey, it's so terrific being that loud. Hey, too late. It's 0600. What's the O stand for? Oh my God, it's early. I feel nice. Like sugar is fine. What's the weather like out there? It's hot. Damn hot. Real hot. Hotter than this is my short that can cook things in it. Damn hot.
The second mod I'd like to show you is Forgotten Hope 2. Now, unlike Project Reality, which has two versions, one in modern day, one in Vietnam, this one is World War II. One of the nice things about this mod though is that there's quite a large community behind it in the form of ForgottenHonor.com. Now, if you're American, you'll understand how to spell that. If you're British, drop the U. ForgottenHonor.com. Have a look at those guys because they use this mod as well as several other games and several other mods for their very large scale tournaments. It's well worth checking them out. Here's a slightly abbreviated trailer from the 2.4 version of Forgotten Hope 2. As you can see, there are 2 mod teams there, the videos I just showed you, which are creating fantastic content, making almost brand new games based on a game 7 years old using those tools. The mod scene is still very much alive in Battlefield 2. It was in 2142 as well, but unfortunately those mods have died off. And that's one of the issues with a mod, in that you quite often have a very low player count. It's difficult to get people interested. Now the one I'm going to show you now is not a Battlefield mod, it's a mod of Crysis Wars. If you've been watching these digests for a while, you'll know that before Battlefield I used to play in the MechWarrior universe, not Modern Warfare. And I really enjoy that. In fact, I played that for longer than I played in the Battlefield series. This is a mod of Crysis Wars, and it's within that MechWarrior universe. So what I wanted to show you with this is some of the amazing things that you can do with a game engine that it wasn't even designed to do. So have a look at this little bit of video gameplay. If you've ever played Crysis or Crysis 2, you'll see that that mod is quite a long distance away from the original games, especially with the torso turns and the walking of the mechs. So that gives you an idea of what a really creative team can do. Now this next mod is again for Crysis Wars, however it's based on Battlefield. So this will give you an idea of what you can do with another game if you mod that and then try to make it into something similar to what Battlefield is today.
Soldier! Light a fire under it! Contact! There! There! He's dead! Got a visual! Watch out! I'm down! Bunker captured.
Okay, so you sat there thinking, great, you showed us 4 mods, you showed us some different games, that's really cool. Why am I bothered? Where's this catastrophic mistake that DICE have made, and why should I be watching this edition of the Digest? Just bear with me for one more little thing. What I want to do now is show you the intro trailer to a brand new game. As I mentioned, historically I've always played in the Battletech MechWarrior universe. This is a gameplay trailer for a new game, free to play, that's coming out called MechWarrior Online. Now the beta for this is due the middle of this year, sometime in summer. So if you've ever been interested in this kind of genre, please do check it out. I'll put a link to the page in the description of the video so you can go and visit. This is a game I am seriously looking forward to. I devoted, what, 6-7 years of my gaming life to this series. I used to play with the tabletop miniatures as well. Yes, I'm that old. It's a fantastic series of games, and I'm really hoping that MechWarrior Online carries on the tradition where the MechWarrior series left off, and also brings in that whole universe. One of the things about the Battlefield series that is missing, it's devoid, it's frigid, is there's no universe around it. There's no stories, there's no backstory, there's nothing. Where with the MechWarrior universe, you've got many books. Some of them you'll see on my bookshelf behind me. You've got historical games, you've got the miniatures, you've got an entire family, an entire envelope or universe around it. So you can roleplay, you can take part in different things. Now, I'm not trying to sell this game to you, I've not even tried it myself. But have a look at the gameplay trailer, just see how brilliant it looks, especially if you've played in this kind of game before. And please do make a note of it. At the end of this, I'm going to show you something which made my toes curl when the penny finally dropped and realization finally dawned as to what DICE have done. As part of the research for this video, I had a look around to try to find some maps and mods for Crysis 2, thinking that, well, Crysis 1, the original one, had a very good editor called Sandbox. Crysis 2 has an updated editor again called Sandbox. This editor, if you've got a copy of Crysis 2, you can download the editor right now and you can load in the maps from the original game, change them, add things. You can bring in your own models, your own textures. You can develop your own game if you've got the time and the ability with freely available tools. So I thought I'd have a look at different maps and mods for Crysis 2. To my surprise, I only found very few, maybe 8 or 10 different maps and no finished mods. Although obviously it takes a long time for a mod to be developed, especially as pretty much all of them are done by amateur teams working in the evenings, perhaps learning as they're going. So at that point I sat back and thought, okay, maybe DICE have actually done something pretty intelligent here by not bringing out mod tools. Because if a game like Crysis, which historically has always had many mods and maps, is not very active within that arena, maybe DICE have done the right thing and focused their energies on something else. And the whole hoo-ha-ha about not having mod tools really is such a small thing. But then I read this. What you're looking at there is a screenshot from MechWarrior Online, where they have licensed the CryEngine 3 technology to be able to build MechWarrior Online. And if you'll notice on the rest of there, it also states that there's up to 20 other games who are licensing their technology. And it was then that the penny finally dropped. Hold on a second. With Crysis and Crytek, you can download the freely available Sandbox editor, you can create your own maps and mods, but you can also leverage that, and if you want to and you've got the time, the money and the investment, you can make a full-blown game using their technology, like you can with, for example, Unreal. Now, you may turn around and say, yeah, well, you know, it's Crytek, they're a different company, DICE do things differently. Crytek have always had fantastic mod tools. Yeah, But DICE have always had mod tools for historical games. They may not have come out when the game came out, but the tools are there, and they certainly were there for BF2. I may be thinking, well, you know, in DICE's cases, it's EA's fault. EA publish for Crytek. So you can't blame EA for this. This is a decision DICE has taken. And by not allowing mod tools with the Frostbite engine, not only do they not allow us, the community, to build our own maps and mods, but they've missed out a huge revenue stream in terms of potential licensees who develop games based on Frostbite. Now, we know that other games are being developed internally. Need for Speed is a very good example of that, uses the Frostbite 2 engine, or at least a version of it. But DICE could have released mod tools for Frostbite 2 that would have allowed a pool of talent to develop within us, a community, would have allowed third-party developers to use their technology to create an additional income stream for them. All of a sudden, they've got a much happier community building the games that they want with the maps that they want. They've got additional money coming in from licensees who are building other games based on their technology, which will, over time, builds quite a nice revenue stream, and everyone's happy. Whereas what DICE have done is taken the shuttered approach and decided, no, we're not going to do this. We're not all going to let anybody else do anything. Forget it. And it does seem as if it's a very, well, I hate to say it, but a stupid thing to do. Crytek now don't necessarily need to worry about the main Crysis 2 game, or in fact Crysis 3, because that's coming out next year as well. They can also work with the licensees, which DICE have completely missed that. So just take a step back for a second. Just imagine a situation where the Frostbite tools had been released, where you and I were building maps, some people are building mods, where you've got other games being built on DICE's technology and bringing in more money for them. Does everybody win? Yes. Does anybody lose? DICE couldn't sell DLC, but would selling a few 100,000 DLC units at probably a very low cost outstrip the amount of money they're going to get from licensees, plus of course the additional sales because they've got mod tools for a game? I don't know, but it's an interesting question, and this is something where I think DICE have really made a huge mistake. They could have built a massive community around Battlefield 3 and its mod tools, as well as license out their technology to other developers, just like Crytek have done, and they've missed that. Not only have they missed that, but they've also missed a lot of team play elements and more complex elements out of Battlefield 3. So as I look at all these different things across many different videos, I'm starting to get a real deep understanding that there's a lot of things that DICE have missed, which means that something must have forced them to miss it. What is that something? I'll try and find out for you. As always, if you've enjoyed this video, and I very much hope that you have, please like it on YouTube or store it on my website. As you may know, I now have my own website, which is narcissistically called Phyrefli.com. I also have my own Facebook page, which is facebook.com/Phyrefli. If you do like this video, please go on there, please like it. That's it for this edition of the Digest. Next week, I'm not quite sure what I'm going to have, but I'll certainly have something. In the meantime, enjoy your gaming, take care.